Hello, my name is Ilona and today it's February 14th, 2023 and it's Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day. I actually did something else today. I was looking at the energy. I did a reading, of course, yesterday about the energy of this week, but I just wanted to look deeper into this because it's Valentine's Day today and there's going to be a new moon that February 20th in Pisces. It's going to be a super moon, and I just wanted to take a look at the energy, just what is going on, and maybe in a way to support people. I'm using the card reading I usually use for my month reading. So the first three cards are the energy right now. The second row with three cards are about the blockages, the challenges. The next three cards for the third row are about the advice. And then the last three cards are about where we'll be heading and what you can really get out of this energy if you use this energy. So the first three cards are very interesting. I have the 10 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, and the 3 of Swords. And this is about the energy now, what is going on in the energy. And it's very similar to my reading yesterday. This is about old pain coming up, usually connected to our inner child, former, past lives, maybe even future lives. Ultimately, there is no time. So we can really, face things that come up now. And it's very, very important that we do this work to really connect with what's coming up. You are not born in a certain family by chance. There are star seeds that actually decided to come in and to help out in this time. And of course, they've agreed to where they were born and of course face different. It's different for them. But ultimately, we are everywhere where we're supposed to be. We are at our families. We are, we attract what's in our energy, what wants to be healed. So a certain family that we end up with has to do with things that we can heal. Unless, of course, like I've mentioned, you could be a starseed. This is your first time maybe here, but then you've decided to be in a certain family because that would help you along the way in learning to deal with things here in this energy. So ultimately, you are at a certain place in a certain time in a certain family because it connects with things you can learn. Your soul wants to learn, wants to balance. So it's very possible from past lifetimes or just things happening that need to be balanced. So you will end up in certain patterns. And I've noticed just with the consultations I do, if you're interested in that, you can find, of course, everything on my website, www.warekracht, warekracht.nl. It's also in English. You can find everything you want in that. But this is very interesting. This has to do with, I've noticed that people that struggle, what they struggle with the most is actually what will end up being their life mission or part of their life mission. So if you struggle with just putting up boundaries, if you struggle with certain abuse, things like that, if you manage to work through that and really heal yourself, you'll be able to help other people with that. It's very interesting to see. It's usually what is the biggest issue, the red thread through your life, is what will be part of your life's mission. And I think this energy right now is about finding your life mission. I think a lot of people are really wondering, what am I supposed to be doing here? What can I do? What do I want to do? And it is connected with old patterns, solving these old pains, creating balance in your life. So you'll be able to help other people as well. Ultimately, we all have to heal ourselves. But by healing ourselves, we also share that energy with other people and they can connect to that energy and ask maybe for advice or just see that it can be healed and work, their own way, their own methods to achieve that as well. We can really truly help. By healing ourselves, we connect, of course, we're connected to everyone around us, to everything around us. So it has an effect on other people and it will be up to them to decide whether they want to be healed as well or not. Ultimately, we all decide ourselves about our own healing. But it's very interesting how that's it's very interesting. So has to do with our life's mission, and it's connecting to old patterns. So the second row is about the challenges that we will face, and a lot of people will face, especially with these 7 of Cups. We have the Death card and the Emperor. And a lot of people, I've noticed, remain in this confused state. So somewhere they do feel that they should make changes, and I do think a lot of people know that certain things need to be changed. They're in a relationship they don't really want to be in, or working at a spot they don't really want to work, or just want to move places, but they don't want to make those choices. They don't really want to change that because it's frightening, and so they keep themselves confused. And because they're confused, well, I don't know what I really want, and I just can't seem to find which way I should be going, and it keeps them in a sabotaging mode. So they don't have to make choices, because ultimately when things are falling apart, that's what the Death card is. Certain things don't feel right anymore. Maybe certain context or friendships, or it's like what I mentioned, where you're working, it doesn't fit you anymore. It is time to let go and make other choices. But that can be very frightening. So the challenges will be to really feel through those confusion and realize that it has to do with fear, ultimately. Fear of making choices, or maybe out of guilt or loyalty that you don't really dare to make decisions. But it's very important that you don't stay stuck in a certain way. And also the Emperor is also, it could be in a negative way, staying stuck in a certain attitude because you just don't want to give up something, or being very stubborn about something, of keeping everything the way you want it, because that gives you a certain control. So you stop the change that could come in and keep yourself in a confused stage, or in a very stern or strict stage. So it's very important. This could be the challenges. Look at where you keep yourself confused, or where you want to keep control, and be able to make decisions to change your life and let the change happen. I think there is a lot of change, but it can be very challenging, because you will be in this in-between energies if you start changing things, and you still have to, of course, work with it in yourself. And people can react to that. You can get a lot of resistance going on around you. So it can be very scary to make choices, especially if it's maybe time to let go of a certain relationship, or maybe with family members, it's time to just distance yourself. It could be very, very tough to make that decision. So the advice is, we have the Queen of Cups, we have the Four of Cups, and we have the High Priest. Now, the High Priest, to me, because this is about energies, doesn't have anything to do here with dark energies. It has to do with norms and values and morals and ethics. What do you follow? Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself looking up to other people to tell you what to do, to other things outside of yourself, confirmation outside of yourself, or do you step in your own power and make your own decisions based on your ethics, on what you want, what is important to you? So the advice is to look at negative emotions as well, to connect with them, to feel through them. So if there's a certain situation in maybe in your family, and you want to take some distance from someone, but you feel this loyalty or this guilt that you're not grateful enough, but you know it doesn't feel right to you anymore, feel through that guilt, feel through that feeling that apparently you need to be grateful for certain things. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be, but if it keeps you stuck in a relationship, or in a contact with maybe a family member that isn't right for you, that is maybe a toxic contact, then it's important for you to really connect with your emotions, your feelings, and make a decision with these negative feelings and emotions. We do have a tendency of pushing that away. It's pushing that aside. Oh, we don't want to look at that. I'll just keep going. I'll just don't look at it too much. Or when you're working, you're like looking, oh, it's almost weekend, I'll be fine. Or just looking at the next holiday and just working, not feeling that this really is what you should be doing. Then it's very important to look at, well, what do I want in my life? And it's, of course, connected to the confusion And of course, it can all kind of just melt together. When you're feeling very negative emotions, you're afraid to maybe deal with it. You keep yourself confused so you don't have to take action. Because it's very important, I see this as, first of all, to connect with your feelings, your emotions, and your intuition, and try to align them. So if there's a situation in your life that doesn't feel right to you, connect with that feeling first and really see what's going on, feel through it. And then, of course, because that's the feminine side of it, of the energy, so to speak, by feeling through it, connecting with it, then it's time to step into the male side of things. And I have to say, in a way, the High Priest and the Emperor are quite similar in that male energy, although I see the Emperor as the sacred male, masculine side, that we take action, that we started to listen to what we're feeling inside, we align ourselves and then take steps. And usually that will be very natural if we align ourselves. Very important. If we are not aligned, the choices we will make will not be really getting the results that we want. It's very possible that we could, receive a lot of resistance if we're trying things. We really need to be aligned first inside, and then with our emotions, our intuition, with God, and then we can take steps. The last three cards are the King of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, and the Nine of Pentacles. So if we really work through these energies, we will have a completely different perspective on things. And I think that's very important, that we really look at things differently. Sometimes we're so stuck in our ways. We can also have blind spots, obviously, in that case. If you need any help with anything, see if you can find help. Maybe someone else can help you look at a clearer picture at what's going on in your life. But usually we do feel what is going on. We know deep inside some things don't work, some relationships don't work, some the work where we're at, it's not what we're supposed to be doing. And it's very important that we look differently at it, and that we move into an independent direction, that we follow what is true to us, what feels right to us. And we take steps to manifest, to create new things. And it's very possible, especially because it's connected to this life mission, that if you start connecting with yourself and maybe step away from certain people, certain situation, you will attract other people and other situations, and maybe start an initiative that is part of your life mission. Maybe start an initiative with food or initiative for education. There are so many possibilities. But this is a very strong energy, and it has to do with stepping out of the confusion, really feeling through things and finding your life mission. What do you want to do here, right now? What is it that feels right to you? So you can really take steps and start manifesting and creating that. So I want to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video.